Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Slan starting rosters. Slan are back, sort of. So the Slan team is not in the Blood Bowl 2020 rulebook. It is not in the Teams of Legend, so it's in no products owned by Games Workshop. So it is in no way official. However, the NAF have put out their document for tournament guidelines next year, and it does include the Slann team and the Khorne team, so we've got rosters for both of those teams. It is overall, however you think about it, the positive is that there are a bunch of people out there who love playing those teams, who've got great models for those teams, and they will be able to continue playing them at least in some tournaments and some leagues, because if I would open up my league to have Slann and Khorne rosters. They play very uniquely, and I think it just adds a great element. Neither team is particularly powerful, but the better you play them, the better they are. So they are competitive without being broken, which is fantastic. So the Slann team is frog people. They bounce around, they do a lot of leaping, and they're reskinned as Blood Bowl 2 Kislev. So if you played BB2, the Russian jumping people, that is basically the Slann team. So before we get into the actual rosters, we're going to have a quick look at the players. So changes for this team are actually very minimal. The Kroxigor is just the Kroxigor from the Lizardman team. Same price, same skills, same everything. Kroxigor is a great big guy, so that's really fantastic. We've got the catchers here. So the catchers are 80k, so same price, movement 7, strength 2, agility 2+, passing 4+, armor 8+, diving catch, pogo stick, very long legs. So this whole team used to have leap. Leap got nerfed in this new edition with the additional modifiers of jumping out of or jumping into tackle zones. We talked about it on the podcast. We said the best thing for them to do would be to stick pogo stick on them, or froggo stick, and that's what the NAF have done, which is fantastic. So the Slann team, the catchers are agility 2+, the blitzers and line frogs are agility 3+, so they are leaping on 2+ and 3+. So they are just leaping like that forever. So they get to keep their kind of identity, which was that they could leap around. It was risky because there's no skill that has the reroll for that. It is risky, but it is really fun. One big nerf to the Slann team is the catchers, who were agility 4 in the olden times. Used to be really good passers as well, but as you guys know by now, Blood Bowl 2020 has changed up the way we do passing. So the entire team, with the exception of the Kroxigor, has a passing of 4+. So average. That is what we expect. So overall, you've got the catchers, who are movement 7, strength 2. They are fast. They've got leap of 2+, and ball picking up skills at 2+. So they're going to be your agile guys. They're going to do a lot of the scoring, and they're going to do a lot of the ball handling. They're also really useful for that 2+ safe leap to get assists. The blitzers are 110k, movement 7, strength 3, agility 3+, passing 4+, armor 9+, diving tackle, jump up, pogo stick, very long legs. So the benefit of these guys is that they've got good armor, they can leap around just as well as the line frogs, they've got jump up, which means if they stack it, they're getting back up again and making a block, and they've got diving tackle, which means they can kind of hold people in place. They're barely blitzers, they need some skills before they start really rolling. And then you've got your linemen, or the line frogs, who are 60k, movement 6, strength 3, agility 3+, passing 4+, armor 9+, so human linemen with pogo stick and very long legs, which again we've talked about. So the team is a really interesting team. It feels a little bit vanilla at times, but you have to work hard to make it work well, and it's really satisfying. When I thought we were losing the Slann team, I binged a load of games on Fumble to really just make the most of it. And now they're back, we actually get to play them on tabletop. So the Fanath Frog team that I absolutely love, still get to use it. Anyway, let's have a look at some rosters if you are planning on running Slann in your league. Now the Slann team is quite expensive, so there's a few different ways to go. So we're going to start off with a mixed roster here, 1,000 TV, so a million straight. 2 catchers, so those are your 2+ movement 7 leaping dudes. 2 blitzers, those are your jump up, diving tackle blitzers. And then they are movement 7 as well. And then you've got 7 line frogs and 4 rerolls. So like we said, Leap does not have an integral reroll, which means that team rerolls are going to be super important on the Slann roster. 4 is where you want to be. 4 or 5 is really want to be where you want to be, because it will help boost up your ability to move and use your thing, which is leap. Now bear in mind, this team has no ball handling skills at all, so if you're planning on doing anything, you may need rerolls for that as well. And there's no combat skills, so if you're planning on punching things, you may have to save rerolls for that as well. It's kind of like a team powered on NOS. It's really cool. It's going to overheat, and at some point it's going to fail, but until it does, it's going to be breathtakingly awesome. Skills wise, catchers absolutely rock as soon as they get dodge, because then they're 2+ dodging and it's just great stuff. Sure hands, because they're your ball carrier. Block or wrestle, whether you intend on keeping them as a ball carrier or as a sacker, really successful. Giving them guard will be useful, because that 2+ dodge is going to mean they are going to be able to land exactly where you need guard. That is one boost they've got from this edition, is they can just save 12 SPP and take guard on a catcher. That catcher can then run around with your blitzer and you will do great things. Talking of blitzers, they need a combat skill, and whether that is block to make them a standard brawler or wrestle to make them a sacker, like we said above, one of those is going to start enabling this player. Wrestle combos really well with the blitzers because they have jump up, so you can jump into a place, wrestle a guy, next turn you just get up for free, or you just block standing, block or from the ground. Really useful. Dodge is not going to be bad, as they are kind of your strength pieces here. Mighty Blow and guard are things you want to consider for the blitzers. Line frogs, block, wrestle, again, same as above. Guard, save up to get guard and then will be really good. Jump up, because you're going to be leaping around, and this way your line frogs become kind of more reliable. And kick is huge for this team. Getting kick will massively help, because you've got leap. And when you've got your catchers, you've got movement 7 2+ leapers, which means you have got such a great chance at jumping onto where that ball is going to be, or at least near where that ball is going to be, with several players, and that's going to cause turnovers, which is awesome. And because rerolls are 50k, you can take 4 of them on this roster. So we talked about rerolls and you needing some. What you can do, if you are inclined to open up your positionals, is for 990 you can, I've called it max positional, you can actually take up to 4 blitzers, but you just cannot afford it. 4 catchers, so that's 4 of those movement 7 agility 2+ players. Strength 2 though. 2 blitzers, 5 line frogs, and 3 rerolls. So you're leaning heavily on your agility 2+ for leap and ball carrying here with the catchers. You've got more speed, you've got the ability to get out of trouble. This is going to be a way more risky build. 3 rerolls is not going to be a lot. That's going to be gone by turn 4, basically. And where you've got 4 strength 2 players, low armor as well, this could get creamed. However, you get your best players on the pitch straight away, so you get to start leveling up those catchers, and once those catchers have dodge or what, you know, some of the other skills we talked about, the team really starts cooking. However, starting with rerolls is what I would recommend, but you can take this roster if you want to just flood the board with cool players. And it's probably evident by now that I do absolutely love the catchers on this team. So we've got a max catch build here, 990, 4 catchers, 7 line frogs. So you've got no blitzers, but the blitzers don't actually start with a combat skill, so you don't lose a huge amount running this roster. You lose a couple of movement 7 players rather than movement 6. You can make it work because you can lean into that 3+ leap if you need to. And what it does unlock is this here. So you will get 4 rerolls and an apothecary. The apothecary has an asterisk. Why? Because the apothecary is exactly the same price as a reroll. So you get the choice going into this. You get 4 players with agility 2+. They're going to take care of everything. Movement 7 as well means you're going to be in a reasonable spot to score and to do those stretch plays, because while passing is bad on a 4+, a handoff is caught on a 2+. That actually, bear that in mind. The line frogs are going to be your brawlers in this roster until you start saving up for those blitzers, if you even want to. 4 rerolls. You can drop the apothecary and take 5. That's going to absolutely maximize this roster. I think the apothecary is going to be really important in this team to keep those catchers alive. Now, not just to save them from injury, but to put one back on the pitch when it's casualtied. And when you've got low armor and low strength, you've got to consider that. But it does give you the flexibility to start with 5 rerolls and just want to save up 40k for your first match to get the apothecary. But it is your gamble to take. And the last roster I have for you today is my personal favourite, which is the Catch and Crocs. So 3 catchers and a Croxigore, 1 million 1 Croxagore, 3 catchers, 7 line frogs, 11 players, 4 rerolls, so you can still do your leap blocking nonsense, and absolutely first thing you want to do is buy an apothecary here. But what you get here is you get some strength. Standard 11s, you've got to put guys on the line. Line frogs aren't bad, they're human linemen. They're resilient-ish. They've got reasonable strength. They can punch things and they can survive being punched. They're not Skaven, they're not elves. So you're not going to get wrecked. The Crocs and 2 line frogs on the front line is definitely at least medium. Okay, Croxagore is one of the best big guys out there. Croxagore, as it levels up as well, you can risk a random for 3 SPP on strength. Maybe it'll roll Brawler. Even Armbar won't be bad on the Croxagore because it's got Prehensile Tail. So if somebody wants to dodge away, if it fails, you get Mighty Blow on their armor. Huzzah. And this dude already has Mighty Blow. And you got the option to save 12 SPP and buy block, or just go 6, get guard. Then you've got basically 2 strength 4 line frogs on the line. This gives you a little bit of everything. And you start with 3 catchers. Fair warning, one of them will die in this game. May not die, may just be knocked out, but one at least is going to get smushed. But you get 3. They are kind of like worse gutter runners. Running 3 of them is great. So this team has the ability to move the ball. It's got some standard strength. Catchers, while fragile, on a 2+ can put them exactly where you want them to get assists. So that is going to be really useful as you move on. And in fact, a frenzy line frog or blitzer works really well if you can get catchers in the right position. So you can get some surfs really quickly. Great fun. You can go absolutely mad. So this roster is the one I play with most often. I've tried dropping the Crocs, taking 4 catchers. Really good fun in the olden times where you could throw like a boss. Now you can't throw like a boss. What you need is a little bit more brawl. Hello, Croxagore. And you still get all the movement and all the agility from those catchers. So I love this roster. But the cool thing about the team is there's loads of different angles to take. Talking about taking the team, if you want to run it on tabletop, I've got a couple of really lovely options for you. And first up, we've got the team whose art I've used for this video. So it is the Fanath Frog team. Not very imaginatively named, however it is very apt and very descriptive. So I love Fanath. I've got some Fanath everywhere. I've got the Dwarf team and I've got the Slan team. And the Slan team is beautiful. It is slightly cartoony, but to be fair guys, it's a space frog team, so it's going to be a little bit cartoony. I don't know. I do want to see Games Workshop bring this team back and make it sweet. You know, I'm thinking they could do a really good job. Until then, you've got a wonderful team here with the Fanath team. So, price-wise, it varies depending on how much you want. 16 players, including the big guy, and for each of the positionals, is going to take you to €80. I didn't do that. I already had a Croxagore, so I went with the €50 version, which gives you 12 players. As you've seen for most of these rosters, you're starting with 11, so it gives you that extra lineman. And all you've got to do then is find a Crocs. But the Fanath team is brilliant. You can even pick your own miniatures as well. So it's just really, really cool. And if you want, you end up with very similar positionals to things like an Amazon team or a Pro Elf team as well. So you kind of get the option to play a vanilla team using your Slan miniatures as well, which is quite cool. So Fanath is my favourite pick, but I do have an alternative for you, which is the Grebo Games Paraka Frogmen team. So this here is the team bundle, and that's €85. Now guys, we know this by now, that third-party teams you are paying about €80 to €90, 70 to 80 at Kickstarter, so this is exactly what you'd expect. This team is 17 models. It's got some freebies and stuff like that. You get the big guy and you get a bunch of positionals. You get 4 blitzers and 4 catchers and 8 linemen. Plus the big guy. So if you prefer your team a little less cartoony, you can go with this one. That is the thing with the Slan team, is it does have a quirky everything. Quirky playstyle, quirky theme, very quirky miniatures. But it's very cool, it's very different. And if you're looking for that tier 2 challenge, Slan are really good, but you will get murdered quite a lot. But that's fine, you're going to know it yourself by failing Leap. Everybody knows that. This is basically the Blood Bowl community on Facebook's team. It is just the Leap team. So that wraps up our starting rosters for Slan. I am personally very excited to have the team back. It's not a brilliant team. It is definitely tier 2. But you know what? It can beat teams and it can score touchdowns. It It is very vulnerable, it's very squishy, and you don't have a lot of skills to start with, but if you just want to push your luck, roll some dice, and when they are hot, they are hot. When they are not, they are not. So if you're a commissioner, you can actually take the Slan team. It's going to give you a challenge while still being able to give some new players to your league casualty points and things like that to help them develop. And that's why I like it, I think. It is a medium team, you've got the challenge, but it is in fact very beatable. But once the team gets brewed up, you start getting those skills, it becomes an absolute scoring beast. So I love it, I'm really glad it's back, and I hope loads of people play it in your leagues and tournaments. I'm going to wrap up this video now. Do let me know in the comments what you think of the Slan/Kislev team, if you're glad or sad that it's back, because I do want to know what you think, and I'll be back again soon with some more Blood Bowl content. Thanks very much for watching. See you later.